looking at that one.
Okay, makes it easy.
A little bit.
Okay, can you I'm gonna have Jenna talk. Can you just start talking?
If you are watching the Bills game on Sunday, there might be a familiar face on your TV. Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Jenna Polito.
And I'm Rosary Aprasarda.
We have a lot of exciting stories to cover, so let's get started with your local news. If you are watching the Bills game on Sunday, there might be a familiar face on your TV screen. SUNY Fredonia student Lucas West, a sophomore at the School of Music, was chosen to sing the national anthem at the Bills home game against the Jets. After talking with Lucas, he said, quote, "I'm very excited for this opportunity. It's not every day that life presents an opportunity like this," end quote. Be sure to check out Lucas's performance before the 4:25 p.m. kickoff at Highmark Stadium on Sunday.
The Buffalo Bills have parted ways with offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey on Tuesday. The news comes after a 24-22 loss to the Denver Broncos the previous night in an outing where Allen had 3 of the 4 Buffalo turnovers and where the Bills' offense was held to under 26 points for the 6th straight game. After spending the last month reiterating his confidence in Dorsey, head coach Sean McDermott said in a press conference, quote, "I'm confident, but I believe we can do better at the same time," end quote. Dorsey was in his 2nd season at the position after being handpicked by Allen to be a successor to Brian DeBole, who was hired as head coach of the New York Giants. Allen has also backed Dorsey when he first started generating criticism, which has slowly faded after he said the offense was just following the game plan after losing to Cincinnati a week prior. Second-year quarterbacks coach Joe Brady, who joined the Bills after spending 2 seasons as Carolina's offensive coordinator, will take over as interim OC.
Former Fredonia High School runner Charo Mancino's pastime is a fast time. Earlier this month, Mancino tested his speed at the New York City Marathon. Mancino has competed in the NYC Marathon 3 times now, but this most recent time was different. Mancino performed so well that he qualified for the Berlin Marathon in Germany. His time was 2 hours, 43 minutes, and 13 seconds, rating 238th out of over 51,000 runners. Mancino trained for the marathon right here in Fredonia in the weeks leading up to his race. He said he credits running on the streets and hills of Fredonia to his success.
The town of Fredonia has decided not to pay a consultant for preparation of the Environmental Protection Fund grant application. The annual grant helps provide funds for the improvement and construction of parks and historical areas located within New York State. The trustees of Fredonia voted last month to table the payment until a later date. Michael Kokit of Labella was to be paid $3,500 for his efforts. Labella is also preparing a study of Fredonia's water system, including a future course of action to take. Trustee John Esperson said, quote, "With the work that Michael will be performing us, Trustee John Esperson said, quote, "With the work that Michael will be performing for us by the end of the fiscal year as part of our water situation goes, I would have a hard time approving expending those funds for that. So I would move that we would table that resolution for now," end quote. Trustee James Linden added, quote, "We'd be better off waiting for next year and utilizing these funds in a better way," end quote. The decision to table the payment until later was approved by a 4-1 vote.
Recollected, a consignment shop has gained popularity within the campus community. Rosemary Rapisarda is out at the shop. Interested in modeling for Recollected? Contact Doug on Instagram at recollected.co.
This year, Community Beer Works is celebrating the Polar Plunge and Special Olympics in a new way as they introduce a craft brew in honor of the event known as Polar Plunge Pills. The Polar Plunge is an event where those who participate collect donations from friends, family, and colleagues, and they jump into the freezing cold waters at lakes and parks around the state to raise money to benefit Special Olympics of New York athletes. Community Beer Works is raising money in their own way with this, as every pint and 6-pack sold of their Polar Plunge pills, they will donate $1 to the Special Olympics New York via the Community Beer Works Polar Plunge team. The Polar Plunge takes place this year on December 1st and 2nd at Woodlawn Beach State Park and 3,580 Lakeshore Road, respectively.
If you saw the Grammy nominations come out, you may have noticed a familiar local group in the list. The Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra was nominated for a 2024 Grammy in Best Orchestral Performance. The orchestra has had nominations and has won awards in the past, most recently winning in 2021. The nomination is for orchestra and director Joan Falletta on their album The Poem of Ecstasy and Symphony No. 2. You can see if they win at 8 p.m. on February 4th at the 2024 Grammy Awards.
On November 24th, the Fairground Festival of Lights will be returning for its 19th year to the Hamburg Fairgrounds. In addition to the lights, there will also be a Santa's Barnyard with live animals, a scavenger hunt, and nightly entertainment. Local vendors will also be in attendance selling food and drink options. Tickets went on sale yesterday and are available to purchase at the Hamburg Fairgrounds website. The festival will run from November 24th to December 13th. And when we return, we'll have your national stories. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, Miss Flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
This week, New York State Commission is recommending to rewrite the state's learning standards and change to having only one high school diploma. The recommendation comes with the result of eliminating local regions and advanced regions with designation diplomas. Currently, the diploma assessment requirements include taking Regents exams, and the State Education Department is proposing alternative Regents exam pathways. Commission members propose to reduce or modify the diploma test requirements by either reducing or modifying testing or having other options to get a diploma. Members say that the student should have more writing and need to demonstrate, quote, higher order thinking skills, end quote, in order to graduate. Commission members say students should also have a choice in options or graduation requirements such as capstone projects, performance-based assessments, as well as experiential learning. An update will be given this spring regarding the changes and how the Commission and Education Departments wish to produce and staff work is expected to wrap up by next fall.
A high school in Sherman, Texas had plans to put on a production of Oklahoma, but was shut down by the district's administration. The show was shut down because the lead was occupied by a transgender student and many male roles were casted as females. The administrator states that they will only allow students that were, quote, born as females in female roles and students born as males in male roles, end quote. The district claimed that the mature content of the musical was another reason for halting the production. However, in a vote to restore the musical, a majority of the school board voted in support to restore the original cast and allow production to continue, despite the original decision.
If you're planning to drive in LA anytime soon, you may experience significant delays. The I-10 freeway will remain closed for 3 to 5 weeks due to apparent fire damage and the need for repairs. California Governor Gavin Newsom said on Tuesday that investigators alleged the fire was due to the actions of an arsonist. Newsom also said that a sample of the road shows it will not need to be torn down. Construction is expected to be continued 24/7, with repairs hoping to be made as soon as possible. While the I-10 remains under construction, Mayor Karen Bass suggested commuters take the metro system or the bus. In addition, buses will be free, and Bass has requested that metro systems travel faster. Investigators are still working to identify the investigator.
There was an unlikely vehicle accident in McKinney, Texas, with a small plane and a car. A small plane overshot the runway while landing and hit a car driving on a nearby road, injuring one person. The plane went through a fence and bounced as it hit the ground, lost a wheel, then collided into a small silver sedan. The driver of the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and both people in the plane were clearly directly after the crash. The crash is currently under investigation by the Federal Aviation Administration.
The last 12 months were the overall hottest period of time in the past 150 years of record keeping. This is due to human-caused climate change. From November 2022 to October 2023, the Earth's average temperature was 1.3 Celsius higher than the average temperature from 1850 to 1900. That is just shy of 1.5 degree threshold, often cited as the benchmark for avoiding irreversible impacts on the climate. Over the past year, 1 in 4 people have experienced a climate change-driven heat wave that lasted at least 5 days. To learn more about how you can help reduce the effects of climate change, visit cotap.org.
As Thanksgiving rolls around once again, people start to prepare the turkey and the delicious sides. One of the most popular being cranberries. Why are cranberries so popular, and where did they come from? Cranberries are one of the few fruits native to the U.S. that indigenous tribes have been gathering long before the Pilgrims settled. It wasn't until the 1800s that settlers learned to cultivate this crop, and not until the 1900s were cranberry bogs first brought. Marcus L. Uran was the first to buy a cranberry bog with the intentions of canning the fruit for a longer shelf life. The harvesting time for cranberries is from mid-December to mid-November. The optimal timing for Thanksgiving. Uran collaborated with other cranberry growers to create the Ocean Spray Cooperative. In the 1940s, the jellied cranberry sauce we all know and love today was born. It all began with indigenous tribes and introducing them to the Pilgrims at one of the first Thanksgiving, and now the state of Wisconsin is the largest producer of all things cranberry. And when we return, Brent joins us for a sports update, and we'll have your first look at weather. We'll be right back.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the Sisterhood of Women in Tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other,
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward,
Come together.
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Make a plan today.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We're now joined by Brent Casillo, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. What's going on in sports, Brent?
Well, the winter sports here in Fredonia are underway. The men's hockey team faced off against the Buffalo State Bengals last Friday night for their home opener in a SUNYAC matchup. The team played hard, but unfortunately lost 4-1 with the lone goal scorer for the Blue Devils being senior captain Curry Woodford. Senior goaltender Logan Dick played the full 60 minutes between the pipes and made a total of 23 saves. The team traveled to Buffalo on Saturday to play the rematch game at the Bengals' home ice, which resulted in a turnaround 4-1 win for the Blue Devils. The goal scorers for this game were Spencer Quinn, Antone St. Ange, and 2 goals by Baxter Kimball. The goalie for this game for the Blue Devils was Anthony Charles Barbeau, as he made an outstanding 40 saves to take home the win. The boys were back on the road last night to take on the Morrisville Mustangs, which resulted in another big win for the Blue Devils as they won 5-3. The goal scorers for this game for the Blue Devils were Joe Santoro, Antone St. Ange, David Sudbrink, and Nicholas Newman had 2. Goaltender Anthony Charles Barbeau played another huge game as he stopped 42 shots. The boys look to keep the win streak going as they travel to Geneva, New York this Saturday to take on the Hobart Statesmen. The men's basketball team played against Grove City College last Friday night right here at Dodds Hall in Fredonia. The boys fought hard, but the game resulted in a 61-57 win for Grove City. Some notable players on the Blue Devils for this game were Tyrese Fuller, Derek Reed, Malik Jemison, and Keenan Jr. Roberts. The boys were eager to get into the winning column as they took on the Hilbert Hawks last night, which was a close game from start to finish. The Blue Devils got what they needed and secured a big win, taking down Hilbert 79-76 as Hilbert tied it late in the fourth quarter. The Blue Devils were able to come away with the win. Notable players from this game for Fredonia were Malik Jemison, as he scored 16 points with 6 assists and 5 rebounds. Tyrese Fuller had 12 points with 3 rebounds and going 4 for 4 in the field goal column. And Derek Reed also had 12 points with 4 assists and shot 4 for 7 in the field goal column. The boys played a well-rounded team game, resulting in a big win as they look to keep this streak alive next Tuesday as they travel to Pennsylvania to take on Pitt Bradford. The women's basketball team has started their season really strong as they are currently 2-0 through their first 2 games. Last Saturday, the girls took on the Hilbert Hawks for their home opener, which resulted in a huge 61-38 win. Notable players from the Blue Devils from this game were Grace Alexander, as she had 11 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Sarah Seaman had 12 points and went 5 for 9 in the field goal column. And Peyton Gilbert had 8 points with 5 rebounds and went 4 for 4 in the field goal range. The girls kept the win streak alive as they traveled to Hiram, Ohio this past Tuesday to take on the Terriers. This game was close the whole way through, but the Blue Devils pulled away with a 68-59 win, and Grace Alexander had a huge 23-point game with 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. Allie Wandel had 17 points with 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and shooting 7 for 12 in the field goal column. And Mary Culleton played a huge team player role as she only had 3 points, but had 4 assists and 4 rebounds. And we actually got a chance to interview Mary on her performance, and here's what she had to say.
I felt like I played pretty good. Still need to work on some things. It was like our first game, so we're only improving from here.
The girls look to keep this win streak going as they travel to Brockport this weekend for the Brockport tournament. They take on William Smith College tomorrow night and Cayuga College Saturday night. The Buffalo Bills played a primetime game this past Sunday night at home in Orchard Park against the Denver Broncos. After losing to the Bengals last week, the team was eager to get back into the win column, which unfortunately did not happen as the game resulted in a 24-22 win for the Broncos on a game-winning field goal kick. The offense started a little bit slow for the Bills as running back James Cook fumbled the ball on the first drive and quarterback Josh Allen only throwing a total of 177 yards with 2 interceptions and going 15 for 26 on completions. Rookie tight end Dalton Kincaid had his second NFL career touchdown as he had 5 receptions for a total of 51 yards. Wide receiver Gabe Davis had only 2 receptions for a total of 56 yards. And the other 2 touchdown scorers for the Bills in this game were Latavius Murray and Josh Allen. It was a little bit of a sloppy game for the Bills, but they look to get a big win this Saturday afternoon at 4:25 p.m. in a divisional matchup at home against the New York Jets. They currently sit at a record of 5-5. The Buffalo Sabres just had a rivalry game this past Tuesday night against the Boston Bruins. They knew it would be a tough game as the Bruins are first in the league, and the Sabres were eager to get a win at home in Buffalo. And unfortunately, they did not get the win as the game resulted in a 5-2 loss for the Sabres. Rookie goaltender Devin Levi allowed 5 goals on a total of 18 shots, making him have 13 saves. The only goal scorer for Buffalo in this game was Victor Olofsson. The boys search to get back into the winning column tomorrow night as they travel to Winnipeg to take on the Jets at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And they currently sit at a record of 7 wins, 8 losses, and 1 overtime loss. And now we're joined by Jules Skiba for our weekend weather forecast. What do you have for us, Jules?
Thank you, Brent. Today we are expecting very mild weather as we are seeing a high of about 62 degrees and a low of 53 degrees. For Friday, we can expect some light rain showers in the afternoon and some continued mild temps. The high will be 58 degrees with a low of 37 degrees. Make sure to relish in the last few days of mild temps as we are slowly sinking into the winter weather. I'll see you in a bit for your weekend weather. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jules. And when we return, we will have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown,
I'm so sorry, Jules.
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music.
That is true.
We have played in the studio.
It's got to be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
United States President Joe Biden has just met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two met just outside San Francisco, California yesterday. The U.S. and China have agreed to restore military communication and are currently taking steps to slow fentanyl production. Regarding military connections with China, Biden said, quote, "We're back to direct, open, clear, direct communications," end quote. Biden said that his talks with Xi were, quote, "constructive and productive," but he remains strong in his sentiments toward the Chinese president. Chinese state media has claimed that Xi urged the United States to stop arming Taiwan and to support China's, quote, "peaceful reunification." Overall, the meeting appeared to be successful, accomplishing Biden's goal of steadying the relationship between the two countries. Biden summed up the meeting by saying Americans should trust them, but verify all info.
The country of Iceland is currently bracing for a volcanic eruption. Icelanders have reported tens of thousands of earthquakes since late October. These earthquakes were reported in the Reykjanes Peninsula, with as many as 1,400 being reported in a single 24-hour period. A 9-mile-long underground river of magma has led Icelandic authorities to issue a state emergency. While the exact time of the eruption is difficult to predict, experts believe that the volcano will erupt within the next few days. Experts also say that it's unlikely that the eruption will interrupt air travel.
On Monday, the government of Nepal said that it would be banning the hit social media app TikTok. Nepali government claims that the platform repeatedly refused to curb hate content and it was affecting, quote, social harmony, end quote, within the country. TikTok is being used by billions globally, so the ban by the small country is unlikely to significantly affect the app. Over the past few years, TikTok has been banned in some countries and placed under increased scrutiny by others, the United States being one of them. It was cited by officials that there was a heavy presence of content that was inciting religious hate, violence, and sexual abuse. There seems to be a virtual attack on the app involving Hindus, Muslims, and some indigenous communities over the slaughter of cows, which are viewed as sacred for people who practice Hinduism. This content has led to offline clashes, forced curfews, and police deployment. Nepal's Minister for Communications and Information Technology said, quote, "The decision to ban TikTok will be effective immediately," end quote. When asked for a comment, TikTok representatives did not respond. And after the break, a new Friends-themed coffee shop opens up in Boston. Leonardo DiCaprio is caught rapping at his birthday party, and more. We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. Central Perk, the infamous coffee house from the hit sitcom Friends, opened up its first ever location in Boston on Tuesday. The news came Monday morning when the Central Perk Instagram account posted that the Boston location will open its doors November 14th at 7 a.m. at 205 Newbury Street. The Boston store was first announced in an article published in People back in June. This past weekend, the magazine provided fans with an exclusive first look inside the coffee house. Reportedly, the opening was delayed in light of Matthew Perry's unprecedented death on October 28th. People claimed that the late actor would be honored on opening day. The coffee house is said to have plenty of odes to the original sitcom, with drinks named after the iconic lines such as the Pivot Blend and "We were on a coffee break." This new business will not just allow people to take photos and post to social media, it is a modern, fully functional coffee house that is here to stay in Boston.
Leonardo DiCaprio's 49th birthday bash was a star-studded blowout. The actor invited many celebrities to help him celebrate his special day. The guest list included Kim Kardashian, Chris Rock, Snoop Dogg, Olivia Wilde, Salma Hayek, Channing Tatum, Zoe Kravitz, and even his Gatsby co-star Tobey Maguire. The party was very entertaining for all of his guests, but DiCaprio took the entertainment factor to a new level later into the night. DiCaprio put on quite the performance, rapping to Gangstar and Nice and Smooth's hit from 1994, Dwick. In true Great Gatsby fashion, this party was quite the scene.
You may be familiar with the name Michael Oher, as his life story was depicted in the 2009 Oscar-winning film The Blind Side. Sean and Leanne Toohey planned to adopt Oher in his youth, but instead made him sign a conservatorship when he turned 18, which would allow the Tooheys to make business deals under Oher's name. Ower recently filed a petition against the Tuohys for filing the conservatorship that kept millions of dollars from him, including his share of the film proceeds. In the petition, Ower and his attorneys claimed that the Tuohys saw high school-age him as, quote, a gullible young man whose athletic talent could be exploited for their own benefit, end quote. Ower's conservatorship has been terminated as of September, although several issues in the petition remain unresolved. The Tuohys strongly denied Ower's claims, saying that they have always acted in his best interest and that he was paid more than $138,000 of proceeds from the blockbuster movie and preceding book. Financial statements were filed by the Tuohys last Wednesday, laying out his payments to Ower and his son, totaling that amount from 2017 of April to April of this year. This is still much less than the $225,000 that the movie contracts had promised, but is progress nonetheless. So I know we were talking a little bit before. I have never been the greatest fan of Friends, but I would be very interested in checking Central Perk out.
I was always a really good fan of Friends, and I wish they would have made the coffee shop in New York City where the show took place. But it's in Boston, and if I'm ever in Boston, I would love to visit it.
Yeah, I do think that's a bit of a weird choice considering the whole set is in New York City, but that's where they had time. Okay. We're now going to toss it to Julia for one more time tonight for the weekend weather. How's it look for the end of the week?
Thank you, Jenna. Let's take a look at your weekend weather. This Saturday, we are seeing partly cloudy skies with a high of 43 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. And some good news for you, we are seeing clear skies with no rain or snow. So if you plan on driving home for Thanksgiving break this weekend, then no need to worry. For Sunday, we've got a little bit of a cloudy day with a high of 45 degrees and a low of 33 degrees. And on Monday, we can expect another partly cloudy day with temps ranging from 45 degrees to 37 degrees. The weather temps are getting lower and lower, so make sure you have your jackets and hats ready to go. That's all for your weekend forecast, and safe travels for anyone going home. Back to you guys.
I don't know about you. I was also very excited to see the weather. I walked outside my dorm today and it was sunny and I didn't need a coat. It was amazing.
I needed that sun, natural serotonin. So I'm glad that it's been sunny the past couple days.
Me too, especially because the winter may not be very good at all.
No,
just based on how it's been looking, not excited.
Me either.
All right, well, thank you so much, Julia, and that does it for News 11. Thank you to our behind-the-scenes crew. We'll be back next Thursday.
And of course, thank you to everyone watching at home. Have a safe break and a happy Thanksgiving.